And hit. You're live. TJP. Dee, 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 dee. Hi, everybody. Just kind of framing it up there for a minute. That's it. There it is. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Happy Oyster Company, the Happy Oyster Show. And we have a recap of the Northeast Aquaculture Conference and Expo. Bada bing. What a great trip we had up in Boston, man. It was a good time. We had a little bit of personal business we had to take care of ahead of time. Got that handled. Shot into Boston. Checked in. Excuse me for a second. Let me introduce Skipper T2. Skipper T.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday, January 12th.
Skipper T, the president of the company. She doesn't even know she's the president of the company yet, but she's the president of the Happy Oyster Company.
You learned just as I learned, yeah.
Things are rolling here, man. We are really rolling. The gears are really turning. She was a great, wingman? I guess
Wing woman, thank you.
Wing woman. I think you can use the term wingman, because you know what I mean. I don't think that. I think I'm all right with. You're not offended.
I'm happy being a wingman.
Oh, cool. I want to be politically correct, of course. You know, that's me, of course. Before I get going any further, today's show is sponsored by Catchem Supply. Catchem Supply is a fisherman's candy store. Let me tell you what. Woo! I'll get into it in a little bit more depth, but he was our stop on our field trip, and Myron over at Catchem Supply is awesome. He has a wealth of knowledge. You got to keep your mouth shut and listen to the dude because he can go and he's gonna give you exactly what it is. No BS. Boom. Here's what's going on. Here's what's happening. Here's what you can use. Here's how to help you make it. Here's what he thinks he should use. He's tried, tested, and he's got it down. Been doing it for a million years. I strongly recommend it. If you are even slightly thinking about becoming an oysterman, you got to go over and see him over there. Where is he again?
He's in New Bedford, Massachusetts.
On Myrtle Street in New Bedford, Mass. www.catchem. That's KETCHAM. CatchemSupply.com. He's also on Twitter, Facebook, and of course, Instagram, which is also the Happy Oyster. So don't forget to, while you're subscribing to the man, subscribe to the Happy Oyster as well. All right, got that housework out of the way. Tony Joe, did you have a good week?
I had a great week. I'm new as you guys, those of you who've been following Happy Oyster Company and previous at Bite Man for You channel. You know me, but I haven't been getting involved with the oyster stuff as Bart has. I'm a realtor full time, yet I'm supporting him, and I am getting involved with the oyster channel. I had a ball this week. I learned so much.
Now we're talking. Yeah. Stay on top of it.
He told me, I've been listening to Bart and hearing about his adventures with Great Gun Shellfish. I got to give a shout out to Great Gun Shellfish, who Bart has been working for over a year. Makes a delicious product.
Awesome product.
I mean, I'm blue in the face.
That's it.
But Bart has been working with him. Paul's been an awesome resource, awesome boss for Bart. Bart's been educating me, and I've been asking questions. And this week was just fantastic, meeting so many people that are in the aquaculture industry. And aquaculture, for anyone who's new, it's basically just water farming. I shouldn't say basically, there's a lot more than just basics.
There's a little bit to it.
But it's fascinating, and as studies show, the world population is growing, and the only way to sustain our world population, they say, is through the growth in the oceans. So I learned a lot this week. I'm going to have Bart talk, but I'm coming back to give some shout-outs, which will start at our bus at the Back Bay at the Park Plaza. Go ahead, Bart, all you. And, by the way, I'm from Boston. Today I have my Marshall shirt on. I want to give a shout out and big love to my brother Peter. Met up with him this week. Your blood baby, I love you. It's great seeing you. And Marshfield is right next to Duxbury, which is near Island Creek Oysters.
And does this thing go down in me? I hope. Help me out here.
I think you turn it.
You know,
Nice
that's
liver,
it.
like it.
Yeah, I know. Don't spill my coffee, whatever you do. Ah, there we go. Now I'm at your level, honey. Hi, Skipper T.
Hello.
I gotta start using that. I think it's a great one, Skipper T. How's that? Is that good? A good turn? How's that looking over here? I can see here. I can see here. It's all about that. Bring it on home. You know, you get coming home from a convention like this. You come home with business cards. You come home with ideas, and the biggest thing is that your mind starts to really start to churn. It is mandatory. If you're even just thinking about becoming an oyster farmer or getting into aquaculture, you've got to go to this. If you're in the East Coast, you've got to go to this. We all got to get together, and we got to band together, and we got to support this stuff. Very, very important that we stick together to make sure that we have a quality, what is the word I'm looking for, honey? I want to keep everybody together, and I want everybody to get the same amount of money. And I want, you know, to keep it. We want
quality product,
Quality
equally profitable
product.
for all.
Okay? We got to keep it up. Otherwise, we're all going to collapse. So we
Equality
got to
is the key,
keep
yeah.
the product quality. If you got a quality product, it's real simple to command the price that it is warranted for that quality product. So quality assurance is number one, and support of that is right here, and it starts with going to the conference and talking to other guys, and you network with so many people. You get so much information that your mind is going kaboom. What do I do now? Man, the opportunities are crazy out there right now in the aquaculture industry is what I found. I know that Paul's going to ask me when I go to work on Monday or Tuesday or whatever it is. He's going to say, what's the one thing that you got out of that? And I'm still thinking about
Can
that.
I have 51s?
Could I have 51?
I mean, one thing I get lots of things.
Me too, man. It was really good this year. It wasn't so many, no, I shouldn't say that. There were a lot of scientists. And there's a lot of stuff that's way above my hairspray, and I have no clue. But then there's other stuff on there that is dead nuts on the money. I understand, I fully get, and I can fully contribute in a lot of ways to this whole industry. I see it. I see the vision. And the other thing that I think the one, I hate to be negative because I am the last thing from being negative. As everybody knows, it's all about attitude. It's 90% attitude and 10% what happens to you. But the one thing I got out of this program, going to this conference this week, and I hate to sound negative, but I'm gonna, is that New York is way
Dark ages.
way back, behind. And then behind that, it's terrible. These other areas are crazy. They're putting themselves on the map, and we should be on the map, damn it. Long Island should be on the map for oysters, and we're really not. We're just in this little itty bitty speck. And Freddie's worried about flooding the market. Are you shitting me? No way. I went to Farmers this past week, okay? They also are, you know, massive growers. That's where I'm gonna start. We went on a field trip, and the field trip was two places. It was Catchem Supply and also Cape Cod Oyster Company. Cape Cod Oyster Company brands under 3 different types of oysters. They have the Great White Oyster, Cape Cod Oyster, and Washburn Island Oyster. If you're following them in oyster culture, again, it's a very niche thing. Do you have a story about your oyster? It's incredibly important to have a story about your oyster because you know what? It's not going to be long before you're going to be able to put them on an airplane and ship them across to Europe for the same price that you're getting here, maybe more. We're all lucky and we all stick together. How cool is that? The ban is going to be lifted in Europe. I learned about that. These guys are setting up. They're gearing up for when that switch is hit. And I can see the vision at Cape Cod Oyster, and these guys have got their act together. Special shout out to Dave Ryan over at Cape Cod. He is the director of operations over there at Cape Cod Oyster, and we met him, shook his hand, and listened to him, and saw his operation, and he shared it right down to his war room. We need a war room, Paul. We need a little spot that everybody's got a little locker so that they can keep their gear in. Something simple like that to keep your morale, to keep your gear guys, to have some place that's the central spot, you know? Yeah, we use well, whatever, we can get into that. There's so many different places that you can improve. When you go to these things, you might not just think that there's something, but boy, certain things start to really stick out when you go on these field trips. I'm sure there was a lot of stuff happening. Dave Ryan over there at Cape Cod Oyster is setting himself and gearing himself up. He's got couple of $1 million facility that he is grading and packing and doing. 3 trucks. We learned about pitting oysters, which was very, very interesting to me. They have a little different technique than we do. They are doing some bottom planting, and they are harvesting right off the bottom. They plant them they raise them in the cages, throw them overboard, let them do their thing all by themselves. No need to tumble or fart around. Just leave them down there and then drag them up and haul them away. Interesting. The numbers are staggering. I'm not going to get into the amount of oysters, and I don't really know, but I just know that they got some equipment and they are moving some serious oysters, and they are not. The best part about it is, I don't consider them a competitor. I can consider them a colleague or an associate or a partner or a sponsor or whatever. I don't even, not even the least little bit concerned with them making the same product that I am. Next. Did I say enough about good enough? Yeah? Did I cover you? Should we go back and forth with each of our places? Because she was right along with me at this place. One thing I got out of that, I learned about their skid. I took an Instagram, go check that out. Boot warmers, you got to have them. I just got a new one from Ocean State Job Lot. They had their little, I was talking about their war room where they got their lockers and what's for all their guys. And each one got a little setup with a little boot warmer in there, and it's, plugged in, and it's nice. It's nice. So that way when you come in, your boots you don't have to rely on, I just think as an owner of a business, you got to make it as idiot-proof for your guys and make it as comfortable for your employees as you possibly can. I did a seminar on employees. I can go on and on. Can you tell I'm pumped? Tony Joe, I'm gonna shut up for a minute and take a sip of my coffee and let you talk. Go.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm not what I was gonna start my list. All right, I'm gonna start off our little field trip day. All participants at the Northeast Conference, Aquaculture Conference and Expo, could pre-register for a field trip. We chose to do a before and after farming. So we loaded up on a bus. We had about 10 of us on there, and I want to give shout outs to our bus driver, who is Chris Von de White, he's very much
really
involved with farm oysters and NACE, the acronym, up in Maine.
The business side.
The business side. Let me just diverse here. Like Bart said, New York, Long Island is in the dark ages when it comes to oyster and aquaculture. Maine, Canada, let me give a shout out to Aaron and Jason from Prince Edward Island in their sweet oyster farms in North Shore Oysters. Everyone seemed to be so generous with their information and their time. I mean, the guys from PE, Prince Edward Island, 9-hour drive to Boston for them. You can figure out.
They're coming from another country, man.
Canada.
Another country.
And they're obviously their water temperature is different from us, and in Massachusetts.
Their growing season is minuscule. They only got warm water for 2 months, so it's very difficult to grow them. But boy, are they doing a job up there? Let me tell you. And there's a lot of them. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Aaron and Jason from PEI, they said, they feel as though they're 10 to 15 years ahead of some of the other parts of the northeastern region.
Really humble guy. He was like, I hate to tell you guys, but you you guys seem like you're behind a little bit, man.
Behind a lot of it.
He's just a
Behind a
sweetheart
lot
of
of
a
it.
dude, man. I'm like, yeah, I'm with you, man.
But what was terrific is we got invited anytime and sooner than later to go up to PEI to see their operation. We heard that from the guys in PEI, the guys up in Maine, many people from Maine, lots in Massachusetts, to come and visit in exchange of ideas. Why create the wheel? And
Recreate the wheel.
why recreate the wheel when it's been done and they're having success in what they're doing? Dave Ryan at Cape Cod Oysters, he is huge. He's been in the business for over 20 years.
30 something, I think it was. He likes growing big oysters.
And
like his stuff.
just the overall week was sharing their information and sharing what they know with everybody. And they know the extent that we're getting in. And, you know, Bart's got a couple of years. Also on the bus, we had Tony Barrett from the University of Maine. Tony, I don't know if you watch. It was great to meet you.
He's a pioneer. He's a big time pioneer. Working on just a quickie. He's on the scientist side. Again, everybody's intermingling together, and that's what I think is one of the greatest things about the conference together. You got the science community, you got the business community, you got the grower community. You got them all mingling together, and we're all sharing different ideas. Tony is with the State
University of Maine.
And he's working on a recirculating water for oysters. So consequently, as the water keeps recirculating, you just keep feeding it. And hopefully the oysters are going to run. And he's got a pilot program and he's doing it. Again, cost effectiveness, depending upon, it doesn't, the scientists don't necessarily really give a crap about what it costs. The scientists are there to figure out, can it be done? And hats off to these guys, because these guys are super smart. And I'm honored to be able to be, in the same room with these guys, or having fun with them, partying with them. Go ahead.
Myron's operation at Ketchum. Heather Ketchum is the son of the original owner, of Ketchum Supply Company. Heather is a sweetheart. She was with us at Ketchum along with Myron. Myron, what a wealth of information he has. A shout out to
The sponsors
women.
of today's show.
Shout out to the women in Ketchum Supply. Myron and Michelle are married. Michelle is the office manager. Debbie, the secretary, is there. Just forthright, open, nice
Family,
sharing of
business, family, adopted family. I mean, it was very similar to Bike and Kite.
So many similarities of Michelle and Myron at Ketchum that I even yelled out at one point. It sounds like Bart and I over the years with Bike and Kite, etc. But fantastic. I want to give a shout out to those Long Island people that I re-met. I've met these guys before and gals before, but it was great to see them. From the Cornell Cooperative Program, Greg and Karen Rivara, Kim Tetro, and I had the pleasure of meeting Otto and Armand, some of the SPAT self-hold volunteers up with Kim.
Awesome. Always fun to see those boys.
Want to give a shout out to Barley, Sam, and Ashley, who are working at the East Hampton Town facility. It was great seeing them
These
again.
are the New Yorkers that are progressive enough, that's smart enough, and whatever, they're going, okay? A lot of them are government employees, but, on the other side of the coin, these guys are going, and these guys are our resources here on Long Island, and they should be respected, and they are our go-to, and they're going to this stuff. So remember these guys if you're local here in our area, because they are the pioneers and
groundbreaking.
They are the guys.
Blazing
okay?
the New York path, and
all the way around. So all of those guys that she just mentioned, in my heart, have a big, special spot in my heart. Hats off to all of those guys. Cornell, East Hampton, Southold guys, all of them. I love you guys. Go ahead.
just going back to how in the dark ages and where New York has a lot of work to go, but whenever
they are pushing, and they are pushing, and they are there, and they're learning, and these guys need our help as well. So bring it on.
Collaborative all the way around. Met a lot of people. I mean, Maine is definitely a leader in this. They've been doing their years. Massachusetts, I found it was interesting. All of the towns in Massachusetts have their own funding. so they can go to their respective towns to get whatever funding they need to help with their aquaculture business. Canada, of course, they're very progressive. PEI, they're ahead of us too. Very interesting, really very, very interesting. I want to give some shout outs here. I have cards, hang on one second. I met Sandy McFarland. She is a coastal resource specialist in Massachusetts, a biologist, and I just bought her book. Oh, I didn't bring it. Ocean Currents, which talks about the food chain.
Where is it?
In a layman, it's upstairs in our room in the white bag.
Gotcha.
In
I'll
the
be
bed.
right back.
So yeah, we can promote Sandy's book. Met her at lunch. I mean, the people you meet. I was sitting next to Jerry, who is with the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection. I said, oh, the EPA? She said, no. She's with the Mass Department of Environmental Protection, so it's a local, state level. It's a state level. Oh, and let me digress here for a minute. There should have been federal people at this meeting, but they weren't there because of the craziness going on with our government shutdown. I'm not going to go there. Anyway, Jerry has worked with, she's about to retire this spring from 37 years of working with the Environmental Protection Department of Massachusetts, and she was very instrumental in helping Cape Cod in the waters of Massachusetts, the people around it, keep the water clean, work with nitrogen, how to clean up the nitrogen, and things aren't coincidental. Sitting by her at lunch was meant to be, because down here in Long Island, that's all we're talking about here locally. We're talking about getting a sewer district to help eliminate the nitrogen in the bay. So it was meant to be that I sat next to her. I want to give a shout out to Tori Parks. Tori Parks is a senior biologist and hatchery manager out of Florida. I met her yesterday. She's with Sea Venture Clam Company.
A quickie for you on that hatchery out of Florida, guys. Nice to know, good place to information, but don't you dare be getting any seed from south and bringing it up here, okay?
Can't cross.
No, all right? Do not do that. Do not pass go. Do not get $200. Do not buy hatchery stuff from the south.
It's
the rules. It's the rules. It's not that they're bad. It's not that those people are bad or this or that. It's just you got to play by the rules, and that is part of the rules that we all got to follow. That's all I'm not. That's it. Here.
Nationally.
Yeah.
At lunch yesterday, we met Connie, who is at Pangay Shellfish Company. She is a distributor out of Boston. So she's someone that, as we get going, we have a contact, we can deal with her. She was very sweet. We also met Liza Mayer with the Aquaculture in North America. It's a publication. So we met her. We're going to talk, we'll talk to her. She said, we told her if she wants to ever talk to us about the Long Island business, she can. Getting back to Sandy McFarland, she wrote this book, and I got it from her, Swirling Currents. Controversy, Compromise, and Dynamic Coastal Change.
Dun, dun, dun. Swirling Currents, the story behind the headlines. Sharks chasing seals, seals chasing fish, highly endangered right whales getting closer to their demise. Hundreds of cold, stunned sea turtles frigid on Cape Cod beaches. Sounds pretty good.
So fresh published book. There are a couple of oyster books that we got to pick up too. But anyway, I met Sandy McFarland, interesting resource. And I asked her, I said, is this, going to be real technical, like really hard to get through? She goes, no. The people that have pre-read it, have read it, early receipt of it said, no, it's layman's terms. So, you know what?
It was pretty easy reading. The back of that cover was pretty easy reading, guys. I'd recommend checking it out. Really.
And what else do I have?
All right, I got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Small world. Okay, this is crazy. It's always a small world. And there was a lot of different stuff that started to talk to you. And I didn't document some of this stuff because it was really a kind of something to me. So it was really a message to me, and I'm going to share it with you guys. This is why we named the boat the Wheezy. The boat's name is going to be the Wheezy after my mother. Everybody's got to have a story in this oyster land, okay? And today, is part of the story is Wheezy the boat. Wheezy the boat is going to be named after my mother. Louise was her name. God rest her soul. So the room number that we were in at the Boston Park Plaza, okay, was 1210. Okay, 1210. 1210 was the old phone number of the shop. 1210 was the last 4 digits, okay? Bing, number one. Number two, we're going to dinner and we're going to go to this place called
Maggiano's.
And as soon as I walk in the door, I'm like, wow, I've been here before. And I'm looking around and I'm hanging out and whatnot. And we're walking to the table and I'm like, the closer I get closer to the table, they're like circular baguettes. If you know what Maggio, what's the name again?
Maggiano's.
Maggiano's
Right across the Park Plaza.
and I'm like, there's got to be another one of these because I've been here before. I'm thinking, I have been here before. And I know it. I know I've been here before. And we're walking around, and all of a sudden we're coming to this table, which is on the far end. It's right near the service for the waiters and waitresses, but it's one of these baguettes. It's like old school Italian restaurant kind of joint. And you guys scoot yourself in, and I'm scooting myself in, and I'm like, I have been in this exact spot before. And it's like, it keeps on coming to me. I've been here before, but I know that I haven't been at this spot in Boston. And it starts to tick. I'm like, is there a bunch of Maggios out there? Maggianos out there? He goes, yes, there's 52. I says, do you have one in Vegas? He goes, yes, we do. I'm like, oh, really? A special shout out to my old friend, Carlos. He bought me, he was a fan of the Bike Man For You, my old channel, and I went to the bike show, okay, in Vegas, and he bought me dinner. Okay, he wanted to meet the bike man. I was very honored. I was flattered. Here's a fan. He wants to buy me dinner. Shit, I'm going. Let's go check. So we went and talked and we chatted and we sat in Maggiano's and had a beautiful supper, courtesy of Carlos. And thank you, sir. There was an old. So I showed Tony the just so that. A confirmation for you guys. I did not take a picture of us, but I did take a picture of Carlos and I put it on my Instagram at the Bike Man For You, and it was the same thing, right?
Yeah, same banquet deal. We were sitting. It was
It was a little spooky, a lot spooky, I should say.
There are no coincidences. Things happen for a reason.
So there was another confirmation of the old embracing the new
transition.
And again, that was my mother. So that's off. To Wheezy, the boat with the tumbler and all of the above, that's going to be a different time. We're kind of starting to get, we just keep going on and on and on, Tony Joe. But now here comes the major tie to West Hampton Beach, the bike shop, and all of the above.
I'm not sure where you're going here.
You will as soon as I tell you how it starts out. So, Greg, Karen's husband, who works at Cornell, buddy of mine, Greg Rivera.
Hey, Greg's a liaison with a number of different oyster associations. I mean, Greg is like the guru. He was like a rock star at this conference.
Yeah, he's like, everybody knows Greg, man. It's like, it's nice, it's nice, and I know Greg really well, so I'm feeling all big and I'm talking with Greg, man.
Oh, give a shout out to Sebastian.
Stop raining on my parade.
All right, I didn't know you. Okay, here we go.
So I'm hanging out with Greg and we're talking and having a beer and we're jacking about the field trip, because he went on a whole nother field trip. He didn't go on the same field trip. There's a whole bunch of different ones that you could have went on. So, you could have pick and choose. So, and he says, hey, Bart, I want you to meet my friend Sebastian Beal. Sebastian, hi, how are you? Sebastian Bart Burke. Yeah, hi, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, hi, where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. We said, we're from West Hampton. Oh, I'm from Remsenburg. I have some family in Remsenburg. Remsenburg. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, and Remsenburg's like right around the corner, okay? I know he's a customer, all right? If he was from Remsenburg, I know he's a customer in my old store. So I popped it out there. Hey, my past history is bike and kite. This guy's mouth was like, you're kidding, really? And now we just hit it off and oh my goodness. Yeah. This cat, all right, is head economic development aquaculture specialist for Maine State. What? Do you have his card? I don't have his card. Do you have his card there? I gave his card to you, I think. Unbelievable.
Sebastian Bell, give him a shout out.
Big shout out to my man Sebastian with the Department of, I know you got it.
There it is, right there.
Maine Aquaculture Association. Keep working, waterfronts working. What a contact, man. And
Great
the guy
guy.
is local,
Great
okay?
guy.
This is why you go to these things, guys. And it's not like these guys are unapproachable. It's not like they're going around with entourages and whatnot. Power players in the industry right there having a beer with you.
Generous with your info in there,
You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. If you're any kind of anybody, anything in this industry, you've got to support these things and meet these people. That's what I got to say about that. He is the executive director for the MaineAquaculture.com. www.maineaquaculture.com. He's out of Hallowell.
Yeah, Hallowell, Maine.
So, again, somebody else that was just a tie to West Hampton Beach and to my mother, God rest her soul, for starting the bike shop. I had kind of confirmation. I was a little, again, you close something that now I'm getting a little philosophical, a little personal now. I hope you'll understand. It's quite an adjustment to go from a 42-year business to a brand new startup. Seat of your pants, all by yourself, but I'm not by myself anymore because I got Skipper T.
Yeah,
Skipper T.
I'm gonna be in. I got a few things I gotta work with, but yeah, we're.
No,
I'm
Skipper
just-
T's in. Skipper T got the oyster bug this week.
And
I
I'm
could
just,
just tell.
I'm just commenting on the screen here that it's a big change, and you guys have been following us. But the reality is, when it comes down to it, we all of us, everybody, we all have to do what makes us happy. We're trying it. We've got things to finish up before we get going. We got the business plan, this, that, whatever. And if it doesn't work, next. Life is too short for BS, for not doing what energizes you and you want to do. And this is, Bart's excited.
Doesn't work. What do you mean doesn't work? Go ahead.
Well, no, but and this is where I'm the yang to his yin.
That's what
Reality.
makes a team, baby. That's what
And the
makes a
thing
team.
is, we've got to be realistic getting into something. We've got our business plan. We got to we got to budget what we're doing. So we're not just the Wild West with life. And if it does, and I'll say, if it doesn't work out, we'll do something else. We're not gonna, or it won't be the yin yang. It'll be just yin, and he'll be on his own. I'll be yanging on my own.
It was just confirmation for me this week that you're doing the right thing, and carry on. Carry on. The last thing I wanted to just
Give him a Cuddy Heart.
what's that?
Cuddy Heart?
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going Cuddy Home.
Really?
What's that?
Yeah.
But I am going education and employment and stuff like that. And we'll follow up with that. Where are we at? 33 minutes? Whew, man, that went fast. We will be talking about this on a regular basis. Please subscribe to the Happy Oyster channel. Please, if you're into the industry and you're happening, please, this is a pretty good one because things are starting to get going for the Happy Oyster Company. From up until now, we're putting out content and we're constantly out there and we're talking with you guys and whatnot, but things are starting to get really, really serious. The engines are starting to roll with the Happy Oyster Company. It's not like they haven't been rolling, but they've been slowly churning, and that's the way it is in oyster farming. Once you get the go, which takes a lot in the regulatory and all of this, and that's another reason why we go to this stuff. But again, when the gears start to really get turning and you got that big gear and you need a lot of help to turn that gear, and you're gonna need labor. And labor is, what's the number one problem that these guys are having? Labor. Good,
Hey, that's
good, reliable labor.
boy, that's something different we're talking about. We saw that with in our previous industry.
I don't
It's
care what
nationally.
industry. It doesn't care what industry. It comes down to the people that you have in your team. The labor, the people that you employ, how you take care of them, how you recruit them, and how you keep them. There are some programs in Rhode Island. A quickie shout out to Cam Ennis. Oyster Farmer Training, Education and Exchange. This cat's taking 40 guys or girls, training them to become oyster farmers. Low paying, he makes no bones about it. But the opportunity to progress is immense. And he's had some great success stories. He's had some tremendous failures as well. But he works, he takes them, he trains them, and then he sends them out amongst these other growers as an intern. Obviously, the farmers and the companies that hire these guys have to do an evaluation. They got to take a risk. They got to do a lot of stuff. Some of these guys, hey, they're not necessarily college bound, if you get where I'm coming from, but they're hard workers. And they need a break, and they need an education, and all of the above. Camman is unbelievable. I can't wait to go on a field trip to go see this guy as well. And you know what? He's a lawyer. Shh. Don't say anything, okay? He's a lawyer. One of my most favorite lawyers, and I don't like lawyers, okay? Special shout out to Cam. Shellfish growers. How do you pronounce that? This cat's a dynamo.
Robert Rowe.
It is Rowe, right?
Roald Rowe, yeah.
Okay. Because that makes sense, because his nickname is Skid.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
What's that?
Yeah, spell it for them when you say it.
Robert Executive Director Rowe. Here's his card. Here's how he pronounces it. His nickname is Skid. This cat is that going the right way? If it is, if it isn't? Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look
Yeah,
at that.
hold
It works.
Yeah, hold it there. Hold it there, yeah.
Does it tune in or not? I don't know. Whatever. Executive Director of the East Coast Shellfishers Growing Association. He also spoke. He also was part of this whole program with Cam. Again, we're working on getting younger people involved, and other farmers need it, and we all got to work together. And it's going to be critical that the employment and the labor force is there. Okay, I got big ideas for this program, boys and girls, and we're just getting started. Next and final about labor. And again, this is who we meet out here. This guy had a little program with PhD and students and graduate students and guys that are doing their thesis on aquaculture or management or seafood management or seafood food management or seafood whatever. But bottom line, guys that are in college that are going up the ladder, that are trying to get their education through experience as well. And they need farmers to educate them on how it's done so that way they can see. Not necessarily that they're going to be farmers, maybe they are. But again, these are students of Cornell, Stony Brook. This guy's a New York State guy. His name is Michael. I give it all that pronunciation stuff. This is why she's the president. She's,
Charamella.
Charamella, and he has got a PhD in food safety technologist specialist. He works for Sea Grant and NOAA, Stony Brook University. Bing, another guy, 40 program. What's his biggest problem that he's got when he's housing these people? Transportation, because they were going from, and you can see this. This guy had problems. He got in like a whole bunch of different kids, different areas, different guys that were employing them, okay? And Haskell Seafood, as a matter of fact, had one of his interns.
Oh, okay.
Haskell Seafood, special shout out to Peter Haskell. You know who this cat is, and we got to talk about this because again, everybody's all connected, and this one tells this one, and this one tells that one, and it's a small community right now. It's just getting bigger. The employment thing and labor, I know it from past history. It's a problem, okay, and I'm preparing myself for the future, that's for sure on that one. So I really want to support these programs as much as possible, or if we could get one going here in Long Island, that would be really good, Lyoga. I'm so happy that Tony Joe had a good time because I am in desperate need of help, especially help that's on that other side, that yin and yang. I can be a little rough at times. I can be a little bit abrasive.
A little?
I can be a little bit abrasive, but I am a go-getter. This young lady is all of the above that I am, but smooth. So hats off to T. Skipper T. I had a good time. Good show. I got nothing more. I shouldn't say that. I got a whole lot more, and I'm so glad that you guys are along for the ride. T,
Nope, just a shout out to Armin, Jimmy Frozen, Wolfie, Alan C, Calvin. Thank you for tuning in on your Saturday morning. It's a cold one here. I know some of you guys are having colder weather, and some of you are having a lot warmer weather. Jimmy Frozen's in a -9 upstate. Jimmy, stay in, baby, stay warm, get the layers on. But you know what? It's January 12th. We're almost halfway into January, and we don't have any snow here in New York. I'll probably jinx us. Next week we'll probably be.
What do we got? We got 28 degrees. That's according to the temperature right there.
Up to our neck in snow, but 'tis the winter. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your new year. Pursue whatever makes you happy.
I like that. Do and pursue whatever makes you happy.
And it's a scary new adventure. It certainly is, but that you got to be realistic. It is. But reach out to resources that can help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to say you don't know, because reality is we don't know a lot of things, and it's.
And if there's anything that we can
us.
help, if there's any, I'm sure we got a lot of new viewers today, or viewers that are going to be checking us out because it is the first one back from the conference, and we were promoting the crap out of the conference. If there's anything that we can do to help you guys that are watching us, I mean, we are there. We are in, all in. Okay, there
And
is
for whatever
no
adventures
ifs, no ands,
you're
no
participating in, whatever you're getting, if we can help you.
You
Shout out
have
to
our
Randy,
support.
Randy in Thailand, thank you for joining
Yeah, Randy,
us.
thanks.
85 degrees. If you can
Nice.
send it this way, baby. Mwah.
I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to the colder. No ice, though. No ice.
Thanks
All
for
right.
tuning in. Have a
Thanks,
great
guys.
week.
We'll see you next week. Don't forget to rate, comment, and/or subscribe. Come on over to our Instagram and our Twitter. We are no longer. We are there, but we are not supporting the Facebook platform. We're making a stance. We feel it's important to make a stance. Even though we are still on Instagram, we are saying goodbye to Facebook. It's there. We will not be monitoring it. We are just going to let it sit. Okay? So please come over to our Instagram and on our YouTube. Those are the two. Those are the majors. Please come over. Hit us up. Talk to us. Tell us what you think. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. And, hey, have fun. We'll see you next week, guys. Have fun. Enjoy. I always have a problem turning this thing off, Tone. Ooh,